In this video, we're going to show you how to repair the P2402 evaporative emissions leak detection pump on this 2013 Volkswagen Jetta. Now, in order to change this leak detection pump, we need to raise the vehicle up. In this case, I have it on a lift here in the shop, but you can do this at home with a floor jack and jack stands. Where the leak detection pump is located is back here by the fuel filler door on the passenger rear. What you have to do is remove the tire from the vehicle first. Now, after you get the wheel bolts out, you gotta be careful because these will fall right off because there's no studs that hold this tire on. So we can take and remove the tire, put it aside. Now we need to go ahead and remove these three 8mm bolts. There's a T25 Torx screw here, and there's another T25 right here. Now, once we remove those screws, we can start to peel back this wheel lining. It's made of felt, pulls out of the way pretty easy. Now, once this is all out of the way, we can see our leak detection pump up here. So here we have our box for our new parts, a Dorman part number 310601. Always make sure you're buying the correct part for your vehicle. If we go ahead and open it up, it's very similar to the old pump. Okay, so to remove this, there's a wire clip right here. We're gonna go ahead on the back side where my thumb is, push in on the connector there, and it'll pull out. Up here we have a hose connector. We have two push tabs on there. If you push down the two tabs, you can pull it off. It'll disconnect itself. Now there's three 10mm bolts. 1, 2, 3 that we need to remove. Once we remove these three, we can take and remove this bracket. Now, the pump is gonna get stuck on the hoses here. Right down here, we can unclip this hose and kind of just gently bring this whole assembly out of the vehicle. We're gonna have to take this clamp off, and we're gonna replace it with a regular hose clamp. We have to get a pair of side cutters and very carefully cut the clamp only, not the hose, just the clamp. We can remove that clamp and we'll put a new clamp on there. Then this hose will pull off. In this case, the hose is really stuck on there. If this hose is stuck on there, you even have to remove the clamp. Take a pair of pliers, grab onto where the hose goes into the pump, and just kind of rotate. And eventually you hear like a crack, and now the hose moves freely on the pump. We can just disconnect that hose, and now we can pull the whole assembly out. Back here at the bench at our new pump, we have 1, 2, 3 T25 Torx bits we need to remove. Once you remove that, our pump will come free from the bracket. Now we can look just to verify that these pumps are correct. They're the same size outlets. Okay, we have different colored plastic. One's a white plastic, one's a kind of opaque-ish type white plastic. We also want to take and look at the connectors. Look at the connectors, make sure the connectors are the same. They have the same amount of pins and stuff in there. So we're gonna go ahead and set the old one, the white one aside, the white top, and we're gonna take the opaque top, and we're gonna go ahead and put that back on. So now on the bracket here, we have two holes and then a third one that's recessed. So if we look on the pump, we have two here and a recessed third one there. So let's make sure that we line those up correctly. Now, when you get this back on, you press it together. There's actually bumps on the pump here. So if we look at the old one, there's these bumps here that'll actually center this in the bracket. So we'll kind of hold it in place, and we're gonna go ahead and start putting the screws in. Once we get this back together, we can take and put the hose back on. Now we need to get a clamp for this, and we can put this all back together in the car. Now we're back to the car. We can go ahead and grab our hose. We can put our hose clamp on. Now this hose clamp I have laying around in the shop, it's a size 14 clamp. You probably want to go a little bit smaller, but I don't have anything on hand that's small enough. Make sure that we push this hose all the way on. Make sure it's not kinked. I'm going to leave the hose clamp for the end here, so we make sure we put everything back nice and neatly. We're going to go ahead and put remove this tube to the side. This is a drain for the gas tank. So when water gets in there, it drains out. We can go ahead and put our pump bracket back on. Put our 10mm nuts on here. Now we can go ahead and tighten up our clamp over here. Once we get the clamp tightened up, we can go ahead and take our electrical connector. We can plug that back in. And now all that's left is do the reverse of what we just did by putting this wheel liner back on and tightening it all up. Pull our wheel liner back. Now we can go ahead and put our 8mm bolts for the fender liner back in. Then we have our two T25 Torx bits. One goes in the back side here. Tighten that up. And then we have the one that goes underneath in the bumper here. Once we have all that done, we'll put the wheel on, we'll torque it down. We'll go ahead, go reset the computer, and then go for a test drive, verify that the repair has been done. Hopefully this helps. If it did, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, smash your thumbs down twice. Have a good day.